bastards keep their social distance. I try to shout it from the rooftops, but no one ever seems to want to listen. Another time, another place, another space away from it. These people drive me mad. I wish they would Another time, another place, another space away from it. These people are insane. Wish that they would use their brain.
Well, hello everybody, and welcome to this very quick and impromptu live stream. As you all, if you know me for a long time, know that I have a tendency to just pop on and do these random things every now and again. I prefer to do them straight and random and without too much warning. It does have a tendency to, shall we say, restrict the amount of trolls. It gives me about 10-15 minutes before they start turning up, and such is the way of things, I guess. So, let's start off right at the beginning by welcoming everybody who's recently subscribed to my channel. Again, I'm literally blown away. I don't think you understand how much it means to me for that to have occurred. As I said, and I will continue to say very huge thanks to Paz for the shout out, because without that, a lot of you probably still wouldn't even know that my channel exists. Next thing I need to apologize for immediately is the fact that I have a steaming cold. Hello, Kirky. Welcome. Hello. Welcome from Northern Ireland. Nice to see you. Thank you for joining me. So, yeah, you'll have to ignore the nasalness and potentially the amount of coughing. Hello. Greetings to us. I am a slave to no man. Now, normally, I'm going to give you a heads up right away. Most of my live streams don't have a huge amount of people in the chat. So, and I try to interact with the chat as much as I can during my live streams. There is a potential this one might go a little bit too much. So if I miss anything or anything like that, I do apologize immensely. I'm not trying to be rude or anything, but I'm my other streams, if you go back, I usually have about 10, maybe 11 people in the chat. So if this chat starts to go mental, please don't take any offense if I miss you out. I'm not ignoring you, I promise. And as I say, if I can get out there and say something and say hello or interact with you, well, then I will endeavor to do so. Hail PD Rich, welcome, my friend, welcome. I know it's coming up on YouTube. There is, see, the other thing is, this is all being done on Rumble, as it says quite clearly in the corner. I now do all my live streams via Rumble and then share it off. The reason I do this is, one, it's Rumble, so I can get away with a lot more than I would on YouTube. Also, the fact that Rumble Studio allows me to multi-share to different platforms at the same time for free. And as you can see in the top of the screen, you'll actually see a counter of how many people are watching me on Rumble, on Locals, on Facebook, on YouTube, and on X. Yeah, shadow banning is a reality. Sadly, Kirky, it is. And I also find, since I've been discovered, so to speak, and my subscribers have gone up, excuse me a moment. Hi, Victor. Nice to see you. It's amazing that now I've been noticed how much of a problem it becomes. It's amazing. It's although, to be fair, not surprising. I was expecting it, and I'm expecting evening. I'm expecting more and more trouble as I speak out more and more, because that is the nature of the beast, sadly. So this is all on Rumble. The problem with that is, of course, I get delays on everything. I'd watch on Rumble, but I can't remember my login information. Start a new account, mate. Start a new account. But yeah, it's easier to do on Rumble. The Rumble Studio is much more, well, it's better than StreamYard. Rephrase that. It has its issues, but the thing is, I actually have someone who I talk to at Rumble, and if I have a problem, if I talk to them, unlike YouTube, they will actually message me back and actually try and fix the problem for me, which is refreshing, to say the least. Good evening, Tony. Good evening, everybody else in the chat. Not so sunny Warsaw, just up the road from me. It's not been too sunny here where I live either. And I don't know whether you noticed, but the wind's been a bit blowy today. But at least it's been warm and it hasn't rained as yet. Touching wood, touching wood. Right then, so the reason for this live stream is to come up with first is sort of a welcome to all the new subscribers kind of thing. It's as I said, I'm just blown away by the amount of people who are now following me. It's like wow, it is. It's literally stunning. I didn't realize so many people. Well, no, I'll rephrase that. I did know a lot of people thought the same way as I did, but you like many people out in the world today, everybody has a tendency, as I've said. Good evening, British Bulldog, and welcome. I have to remember to scroll the chat up, or else it doesn't come up. Another little floor of Rumble Studio, which we'll get up. There he goes. It's popped up now. Awesome. As I said before, recently it's 75% in a recent survey. 75% of the British public have said they're actually scared of speaking their mind. They're scared of telling people how they feel. Yeah, it's we haven't had any rain, but if you've had it, we'll get it. It always happens. Being stuck right here in the middle of the country, we cop everything. But yeah, so I got to a stage, and for all of you who are new to and don't know who I am and how I all started on YouTube, I started on YouTube talking about TV programs, science fiction shows, Doctor Who, Star Wars, Star Trek, etc. And I was quite happy to be plodding along doing that and trying to pretend that there wasn't a problem in the world. There wasn't a problem in the country. But as I've said many times before on some of the walks on my other videos, I had those shows which allowed me to step away from reality infested with politics. So it's actually those shows' faults for basically saying, look, here we go. You got to get on with it and say something. And just looking around the way the country is and what's on the news and what's going on just everywhere we live. I'm scared I'll say too much. Well, yeah, so am I. It's like even now I'm doing these videos and the videos that I do on my channel, even though I mean a lot of them get edited because or it takes me a while to do one purely because I get about halfway through and then realize I shouldn't have actually said that. And it's very hard sometimes to sail close to the line because I have a tendency to very muchly go over that line. And I know full well that if I go over that line, YouTube is just going to kill this. You're just going to kill the video. It's as simple as that. And to be fair, that isn't how we should live our lives. We should be able to speak our mind and tell people what we think as we see it. Back in the 80s and early 90s, there wasn't necessarily a problem with it, and everybody got along pretty much well. Everything was sorted, everything was fine. Sometimes too much is not enough. And this is the problem, you see, because we're getting to a stage in where we are, where being subtle and not being too direct isn't good enough anymore, because being subtle and trying to be careful what you say and trying to word it correctly and trying to say things correctly just gets you ignored. But we're also in a society now where if we say too much, which is the only way we can get people to listen, gets us into trouble. And that's a shitty world to live in. To be fair, I mean, I know a lot of people feel the same. I'm forever being told to shut up because I'm going too far. But the thing is, I'm going too far. But what I'm saying, as I say to a lot of people I talk to in actual real life, yeah, you may tell me I'm going too far, but can you argue with what I said? And they usually can't. So they go, yeah, well, what you're saying is right, but well, if what I'm saying is right, then there shouldn't be a but, should there? Let's be honest, there really shouldn't. If you can't speak your mind, then to me, the only means you're dishonest, too trustworthy, or three deceitful, in my opinion. It's true. Unfortunately, it also gets you into trouble now, somehow. And when did that happen? Stuck between a rock and a hard place. Exactly. And I know other people who do videos like I do. There are many times where you've gone, as you're listening to it back, as you're editing it, I can't really say that. Yeah, and then they pull the magic card out. And it's sad that we live in this world. It really is sad. And yeah, the magic card, and the victim card. You get goaded. YouTube banned me for commenting. Yes, well, we've all. But the thing is, we're in a very exclusive club here. Well, not an exclusive club. We've all been in this club where we've said stuff and had YouTube, or before Elon took over Twitter, where we've just had things taken, or we were banned, or we were kicked off. I mean, my original Facebook was destroyed for it was 2 years. Well, just during the Koof moment, and was anti-Koof, and that meant my Facebook account got nuked, which is no surprise. The sad part is we allowed it. We did. We were walked into this situation. We did have people trying to tell and warn that this was going to happen, but ignorance is bliss. We chose to ignore them. Oh no, they're talking rubbish, and we should have listened. We really, really should have listened. Say what you mean what you say. Always do. Spit it out. Your sister never. Nice. No, you don't need to apologise, mate. Although be careful, because YouTube will be watching the chat as well. So yeah, don't get me into trouble. But no apologies. I get the sentiment indeed. So the reason, which is the tagline of this stream, is the time is coming. Is all the things that I talk about on my channel, all the issues and problems that we have, will soon pale into insignificance. And this is the worry. I've been told unofficially from other sources that I know that it won't be long before Israel goes into Rafah. When Israel goes into Rafah, the West will abandon them. They're already doing it now. I mean, Biden actually said that America wouldn't stand in the way if Iran decided to strike back after that incident in Iran. They're going to be abandoned. And the reason they're going to be abandoned is because for some unknown reason, and I'm still trying to, well, I do know really why. As somebody said, we are the carbon that they want to reduce the most. They're pushing us to World War III. And the thing is, while we're being distracted by everything else, and I mean everything else that's going on, all the cards are being slotted into place one by one. And we're not really noticing it. Nearly every single country in Europe is now talking about conscription. Every single country, but I think it's 2 or 3, are talking about conscripting troops. There are now clamoring calls from NATO to allow Ukraine to enter NATO now. We are kind of in World War III. This is the prelude, I'm afraid. Now, by saying we should allow the Ukraine into NATO no matter what, puts us in a terrible position, does it not? Excuse me, God blow me nose, it's bloody cold. The only way we can fix this brotherhood, time come together. Yeah, but the thing is, we do. But unfortunately, it may be in a very different world that we need to come together to protect ourselves with. Yeah, WEF is driving this, and WHO, the UN, NATO, because we're being run in the West by idiots, by cowards and idiots. History tells it's always been warlike, a war planet. Well, yes, we have been a war planet, unfortunately. But the problem is things are falling into place. We're being pushed no matter which way. I mean, if you take your eyes off all the stuff that is trying to create civil war in this country and in Germany, in Poland, in France, in America, everywhere else, if you take your eyes off that and pay attention to what's being said behind that's where the worry is. Right, Shilwell, I agree. We, as the West, instigated the current in conflict in the Ukraine. I know that's an unpopular thing to say, but it's true. And it's been done because they want their forever war. They've got their forever war. The problem is their forever war is they're running out of troops in the forever war. Ukraine has just recently announced they dropped the age of conscription, I think, from 18 to 16 now, because they're running out of soldiers. Meanwhile, every European country is going, we should really look at conscription. Now, conscription is only done for one reason. It's never done for any other reason. And the problem that we have now is if we have to look at the generation that they were going to conscript, what chance do we have? That's the issue. Yeah, there is more of us than them. Or there was. You see, we've had generations and generations of reduction in the birth rate of this country. And then they're replacing it with a bunch of people who have no issue with that at all. We're being outbred in our own country. It's as simple as that. Yeah, we don't stand up, Martin D. That's the problem. Why aren't we? Poor souls to the meat grinder. Yeah, unfortunately, as soon as the Ukraine is accepted into NATO, it's our poor souls that'll be put into the meat grinder. No backbone in this country. It's because we've had generations and generations of being told that we're useless, our country's disgusting, and we should be ashamed of ourselves. That's the problem. So many people have their heads in the sand and actually realise what's happening in this country. By the time they realise, it'll be too late. Which is why a lot of us are trying to make the noise now, trying to get to people to listen to it now. I know it's running, the time's running out. The time is running out. Stand for nothing, fall for everything. Correct. Outbreak throughout the Western world. Correct. And the other reason why, still more of us than fear not for now. Yeah, there is, but the problem is they are aware of this. They are aware of our rising. They understand that we're coming awake and we're now beginning to say a lot and do a lot. That's why they're pushing for World War III. And it's that simple. They'll do it to protect themselves because they know that we are understanding what's going on. The worst thing that the West ever did was invent the internet. This thing that we're on now was the worst thing they ever invented. Because, yeah, declining birth rates was designed. And it's even more so. Why do you think there's so much gender confusion and gender dysphoria and trans rights? All part of it. That's the problem. UK's completely broken in debt and it can't support our own military. What military? Let's be honest, what military? We have a 0-0. John Hygobs, a fancy scenario. If money was no object, what would your dream? What would your dream mosque for your town or neighbourhood be? Dream as big as you can. Play along with the chat too if you want. Dream mosque? None. But it's as simple as that. My dream would be if you are, for everyone that's built in here, we can build one in their countries. See how long that lasts. That's simple. That's simple. I have no problem with other religions being able to, do what they want to do. But if you will not allow a church to be built in a Muslim country, then the one shouldn't be allowed to be built here. It's that simple. But remember, mosques aren't done. They do their prayers in their houses as well. So the mosques aren't necessarily needed. Our ancestors were rolling their graves, disappointing the shame that lack of commitment to values and near love. Well, we did fight for it. I know I just trolled. Yeah, well done. Congratulations. And that's gone. Batten down the hatches. There was a time when people asked why the Jews let the Nazis transport them to the camps, and they said they should have fought back. Soon they get, well, exactly. The reason John asked the question was John trying to be clever. Things like that won't last. I will quite readily have people ask logical, sensible questions, but things like that are deliberately to wind people up, which is something that's happening in this country on a daily, if not hourly, if not minute by minute basis. So we don't pay attention to the fact that we're in trouble. This country is in serious, serious trouble. And the solution would be if people decided to actually start saying things that they wish to say without fear of prosecution, without fear of attack and assault. But of course, it's not allowed anymore. Now, I started speaking up for this Asian provocateur. Well, these people will pop up, and it's to be expected. I know that doing these streams and saying what I'm saying are going to attract people like that. I mean, remember, ladies and gentlemen, I am a Mossad agent, apparently. So, I am going to attract these detractors, sadly. The left will deny that. Of course they will. The left deny everything. Absolutely everything. It's just unbelievable. We need to make our voices heard more. We need to speak out more because the time is coming. That clock is now definitely ticking. And this is only going to end one way until, or hope from somewhere amazing, somebody with a pair of balls and a strong brain comes to the forefront and goes, we need to stop this now before it's all over. Because that's how it's going to be. That's how it's going to be. Because we're heading that way. They're deliberately pushing us that way. You've got countries calling we should get conscription. You've got the US saying that the Ukraine should be enrolled into NATO immediately. And for those of you who are unaware, if they put us into NATO, we are then duty bound to help defend them. And we will get the war. They will get the war that they want. And a lot of us are going to end up dead. There's a chance that all these stabby aggressive types are being allowed in for conscription and to put there. This is the problem, though. This is the problem. Solutions. And that's the next huge problem. Yeah, OTAN. NATO backwards. The solutions are being denied. Thank you, Martin. Welcome on board. There are solutions to all problems. But the problem is to solve these to have these solutions requires difficult conversations, difficult choices that will make you unpopular. If you ask me how I would solve the immigration crisis, I would seal the border for 5 years. All those who shouldn't be here should be deported back to their countries of origin. We will allow immigration on a point system for those people that we desperately need, because let's be honest, we do desperately need. And I'll put myself right out there right now. Oh, you found your password. Nice one, Rich. Yeah. If you are a genuine refugee that is in real trouble, is prepared to come here, live here, work here, accept the country's rules and regulations, abide abide by our rules, and integrate, then you're welcome. If you're not allowed to, if you're not prepared to do any of that, then you can't. We shut the borders for 5 years, we stabilise our country, we get it where it's going, and then we keep them closed, but only to those who are needed. If you are in a war-torn country and you are genuinely in trouble, we will take a look at you. The other thing, yeah, integration and simulation, well, that's how it should be. What we need to do, once we've done that, is we need to stop all foreign aid. Not give money to any other country. Not until we've fixed the issues that we have here in our own country. We have our own homeless. We have homeless, ex-forces especially, homeless on the street, nowhere to live. Our own homeless all over the place. They can't find anywhere for them to live, but if you float over here on a dinghy, you get a hotel room. That is not right. That is not just. That is not fair. So we look after our own homeless first. Also remember that when the coof was kicking off and it was all going mental, yeah, they could put the homeless in hotels, keep them off the streets, keep them safe. Not now. We need to sort ourselves out. We shouldn't have a situation where our old people are dying in their homes because they can't afford the heating. We should not have people who can't afford to eat. We shouldn't have any of that. And we have the ability to solve that issue by not spending money on countries elsewhere who wouldn't give us anything. We need to self-sustain. Remember, during World War II, we did quite well, although we still have to import. We have to import. We live in a world where we're short of stuff. The other thing we have is, I have to agree that Islam is destroying us. And it is. But again, we have to look after our own country first. Now, a lot of people, back when we were attempting to leave the UK, so families court saying they will turn the UK into a colony of the EU. Well, this is exactly what's happening. This is why the French Navy escort them across, and our wonderful knife boats and border force meet them in the middle and bring it back. We voters knew this was all coming. Yep. We did know it was coming. And this is another thing they say, and when people are asking for solutions, this is the problem. Because at the moment, there is no political party that represents us. Reform is no good for anything. Richard Tice is just taking his orders from Hope Not Hate. We've seen it now. How many candidates has he withdrawn because they've said, "Oh, they're a bit dodgy"? Well, let's be honest. If we all went back through our own histories, if we all went back to when you were 16, 17, 18, 19 years old, if you were, and we when Wentworth it wasn't around, but if we all go back in our pasts, there is always something that can be found that can be turned to, "Oh, you're a nasty person," because these idiots don't think people can evolve and learn from their mistakes, like normal human beings should. So if they go, "Oh, well, they said something 20 years ago," who cares what they said 20 years ago? What should only matter is what they're saying right now. How they are right now in this moment in time. That's what we need. So reform are no good. The Liberal Democrats only seem to give a shit about the rivers. Green Party are raving lunatics. And then what we're left with is Labour and Conservative, which are the same thing with different colour ties. And if what's been said is true, of which I'm looking into it now, the Heritage Party is too small. That's the problem. And remember this, and this is something that a lot of people miss, and you should understand, is if the establishment allow a political party to rise, then they're not for you or I. They will be controlled opposition. People think they're God. Yeah, there is only one true God. It's as simple as that. What we It annoys me. So we don't have a choice. And if we don't go out and vote, it make no difference. So any case, as I was saying, I got drifted off there. If I've here, I was trying to be a nasty person. That's what the forces teach you. No, bitch. Well, amen. Been there, done that, my friend. Yeah. We all know we can be that. Well, a lot of us are trained to be that nasty person. Yeah. And remember, I'm not afraid of you. I'm afraid of myself if I let myself get out of control. And that's the honest truth of the matter. But if the rumours, well, the information that's being made and said is that Labour are just using Starmer to get in. As soon as he's in, before you even know it, they're going to replace him and they're going to put Angela Rayner in charge. Let that sink in for a moment. 1940s UK World War II, a concision. When you watch the documentary, they work together. Can you imagine diversity of London surviving in another blitz? It will be a mini civil war. This is the problem. Same as Gary Sammy. Yep, absolutely, Rich. We are gold. To solve this, there is an easy way. The thing is, to solve the problems that we have now, there are no easy ways. Ginger growler. Oh my God. Can you imagine the hell we've been? But that's the problem. We either don't vote and that makes no difference and they get in. Yeah, of course, Labour will do that. They have no political representation. Look, hand in heart, hand on heart, all of you right now who are listening to this in the chat live now and catch up on YouTube or whatever later. Do you honestly think there is actually a party that speaks for the population of this country? Because my answer is no, not one. Hell is real. Yeah. You see, the thing is, up until recently, I was an atheist. God honest. God honest. But when you look around at all the evil that is around in the world right now, therefore Satan must exist. And if Satan must exist, then God must exist. And there you go. That is why religion is coming back. And I've said it before, when you look at it, when religion, Christianity, politics is dead, in my opinion. And that's a problem. I mean, this is it. There is no easy way. After this election, the last chance saloon, we have to vote for. Yeah, but the thing is, so like Nigel Farage is a great bloke, but the only person that Nigel Farage cares about, and again, might be a little bit unpopular here. The only person that Nigel Farage cares about is Nigel Farage. He had the opportunity to become PM. After the Brexit vote, he was in the perfect position, and he walked away. That said it all for me, as far as that man goes. I know I don't trust. Tice is an idiot. Tice is the problem. But Nigel Farage, no. Farage is only interested in himself. Always has been. But Nigel just wants to work with Trump. I know. The problem is not, as I said just then, Nigel had the opportunity and he walked away. Yes. Tice is a massive. Richard Tice. See, the thing is, a lot of people, I mean, I knew straight away that Richard Tice was no good when he has not apologised for all the bullshit he pulled on about the jab and during the coup. At all. He's never apologised for that. Then he goes and takes that convoy to the Ukraine. Knobhead. Pure and simple. Yeah, and now every time we get some people put in places, he removes them because Hope Not Hate tells him what to do. We in Northern Ireland have no influence anywhere in the UK. It doesn't matter who we vote for here. London still rules the roost. Sadly, unfortunately, that is the way it is. Yeah, he went to America. So for Nigel Farage, for somebody who's so patriotic about this country, he bombed off to America as soon as he got the chance. He's more concerned now about his burgeoning career on GB uh, controlled opposition news than anywhere else. This is what they think of. So this country has with things getting nasty. So this is the thing is we can always we can there is a solution in life. There is a solution to every problem in life. We've all been there, even through our daily lives. There are solutions to problems, and sometimes the solution to the problem is going to be painful. It's not going to be enjoyable, and people are going to get upset. But you still do it because you have to do it. When we get to where we are now, the same thing, but they won't do it. They just won't do it. It's as simple as that. Because they are terrified. And why should you be terrified? You're terrified because you've made yourselves weak. Weak leaders lead to hard times. It's as simple as that. And we are now in really hard times, and they're only going to get harder. As much as I respect Nigel Farage for what he did with Brexit, although let's be brutally honest, we haven't actually left anything really, have we? Local independence, yes. Now, this is how our Islamist friends are getting around not having to be able to create a political party which requires them to publish a manifesto. They're all standing as independents. There's another one standing in Batley, that wonderful place where that teacher's still hiding in fear of his life. Now, I've said quite openly, it's too late now because I can't do anything now. But I would stand as an independent. Half the foot in the door. Well, yeah, but we've got to fight. We really have got to fight. The problem is for us to fight, we need to come together. And if anything shows you, just look at, all the people on Power, Simon Sideways, we got a problem. All these people who talk, and even now in my chat, anything, when I put something up, people don't stand together. They just attack you all the time. Hard time create strong people. We've got, Andrew Bridgen, how that guy literally gets out of bed every day and does what he does is the ultimate epitome of the kind of people that we need now. We need, 500 Andrew Bridgens, strong, determined people to do what's right for this country. And no problem. You've got to stick it in. I am seriously considering running, genuinely. Now, the thing is, I know, perfect example now, is just the fact that my solutions will not be popular. That's the problem. All these politicians worry more about being popular, more about money in their pockets. Remember that we are not having a general election right now. Not because they don't think they're going to win it. It's because they want to hang it out till October so they can all get 6 months of their new pay deal in their pocket. That's why we're not having an election right now. It's nothing to do with anything else. They've only got to hang out now. It's not long now before they have their 6 weeks away. Like school holidays. On 91 grand, a year. So the reason the election hasn't been called is nothing to do with anything other than the fact that they want to keep money in their pocket. Politicians don't care about you, the issues of this country, or anything else. They don't want confrontation. They don't want to solve problems. They're not interested in that. It's all about looking out for themselves. Well, yeah, because he knows if he calls for an oil, he'll be ousted. So he's not going to do that, is he? Because he's going to make sure he gets paid. Or the rest of his MPs are going to get paid a shed load of money before they bugger off. So they're just interested in themselves. And they won't allow ordinary people to stand up and say, you're wrong. And I will say quite clearly, you lot are wrong, because there are solutions to the problem. You can hear hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people daily in hushed corners in case they get overheard, all saying and thinking the same as us. This is the solution to that problem. This is the solution to that problem. That's what we need. But the problem is, we do it in hushed little corners. This is why you're being priced out of pubs. This is why pubs are being closed. Pubs are being closed because they don't want us to get together in an area where they can't listen. Right here, right now, what I'm saying to you and you all saying to is, we all know is being listened to and logged. When you go into a pub environment, they can't hear you. They can't see what you're saying. That's why they're pricing beer, so you can't go into pubs. That's why the Coof made sure the very first thing it shut down was anywhere you could go for a drink. That's what that was done for. That's what it's done for. They don't want us meeting. Coof was nothing but an experiment to see how far they could push it before we pushed back. Yeah, they don't. Yeah, but Cookie, the reason they don't like pubs is because they're being told they're bad places. When I was a kid, as soon as I hit 16, my dad took me to my pub. In fact, I was going to the pub before then. Let's be honest, yeah. As much as it is, we all used to go to the pub on the weekends, Christmas. Yeah, we always go to pubs when the sun was out. We went to the pub. We all sat around. We all had a chat. We met our friends at the pubs. This is what we did. Going to the pub was part of our culture. That's why this country had so many damn pubs. It was so we could go and meet other people and in a social environment and interact as human beings. What they want you to do now is to drink beer and watch the telly. Don't use this and don't talk to anyone else. Don't get to know your neighbours. Don't talk to your neighbours. Your neighbours are your enemy. Don't speak to them. This is the problem. This is all social engineering to stop us from talking. And that's why I said earlier on that this thing, this internet thing, although they can monitor it, is the worst thing they ever did. Because we can still talk to each other. But the downside of that is they can monitor it. So they know what we're doing and what we're saying. Smoking ban. Yeah. I mean, I don't personally agree. I don't like smoking. But if that's what you want to do, that's what you do. But this is how our world used to be. Back in the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, and the early 80s and early 90s. It was all about going out to the pub, going out to the club, interacting with human beings. And they started to reduce that. And the other thing is, that's what church used to be. Church used to be something you would go to every Sunday and have a social gathering with fellow people. Human interaction. This is what, look, Victor, you smoke. Who gives a shit? It's your choice, dude. Because, I mean, a lot of people get this impression of me that I'm like, look, I am, and I'm being this, I don't judge anyone on sexuality, what you do in your life, what gender you are, what colour skin you are, what religion you are. I have no interest in any of that. None of that whatsoever. I just judge you on whether or not you're being a twat. And if you're being a twat and you're trying to make me change my life to suit your life, then we're going to have a problem. But if you look, no one should have the right to tell you how to lead your life. Obviously, there are laws of the land that shouldn't be broken, which are now being adjusted. Yeah. But that's how it should be. Yeah. And again, this is another thing. When you were in the pub, if you talk like a twat, someone would punch you. And that would be the end of that problem. Yeah, you knew the line, because if you went over that line, someone twatted you on. Now, when you're on the other side of the keyboard, you can say whatever you want with zero consequences. Some of the shit that's been said to me just recently, if you said that to me in the pub, you'd be on the deck, probably eating your teeth. But these are the kind of people that would never say that to your face. There is no hope in people. Wrong. There is hope in people. But the problem is we're having it socially engineered in such a way that we're taught very young like is they don't like you. They actively encourage you from school onwards not to trust people. You can't even trust your own mind what gender you are now. Look at it. I'll go back when. I mean, I was born in 1968. Okay, so we'll go to 1974, 75. Okay. When I was a kid, summer holidays came. As soon as I got out of bed, I had my breakfast and I'd disappear and wouldn't get back. Remember the old line, come back when the street lights come back on. And I was safe. And everybody got on. Every human being got on. We had friends. We enjoyed ourselves. Everybody got on. People looked out for each other. I used to live in a little close. And one adult would sit out while we were all playing in the close. Well, the rest of the adults got on with what they're doing. So we were always watched and we were always safe. Community has gone. Now, as much as you may say whatever you want to say about Islam and all these sort of things, yeah, you can't deny their community. And that's their strength. Their strength is not only their religion, it is their community. As much as we, as we don't abide by their ancient religion, which treats women terribly and was created by a warlord who was a sick person. Yeah. The simple truth of the matter is they can beat us because they have community. Whereas ours has been deliberately eroded. Our community hubs were the church and the pub. We were told to get rid of the church and religion was a bad idea, and now they're closing the pubs down. That was our community hubs. This is why the English don't rise up anymore, because we don't have that anymore. That's the problem. I was working with a little US comedian who now lives over here. San Francisco's gone to shit. Yes. You can look at what happens when left-wing raving lunatics take over cities. Yeah, I agree. Now, don't get me wrong. Yes, they do. I can't defend their religion in any way, shape, or form. And I've always, I mean, the missus was like, oh, well, this, that, and the other, Islam, blah, blah, blah. And social clubs. Yeah, absolutely. Social clubs. Oh, no, yeah. So, yeah, well, okay. So, well, let's just convert to Islam. Yeah. So, you'll do as I say. You can't listen to any music. You can't go out dressed in anything other that displays your eyes. Oh, you can't listen to, you can't, in fact, you can't do anything. You can't have an education. You can't have a job. You can't do this. You can't do that. I can have 3 extra wives. You step out of line, I could do this, blah, 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 blah. Just had a warning from YouTube. Don't know what that's all about. I'm a good boy. Welcome to the madness of it all. Welcome to the mad. The band nicotine once was found helps. Well, there's many things. Hello, Paz. Welcome, you walking legend. You. Nice to see you in the chat, sir. Nice to see you in the chat. But this is the problem. We don't have community because they've taken our communities away from us. I mean, when I moved into this house with my lovely wife, she's my second wife. Yeah. I've been here 15 years. The very first thing I did after I moved into this house was I went and introduced myself to every single neighbour on my road. So they know who I am and I know who they are. And they were all stunned because I did that. There's an old lady over the road. She has my phone number 24 hours of the day, 7 days a week. She needs me. She picks up the phone, phones me, and I'll be there for her. That's what you do. That's community. But they've taken this, it's an attack on us. It's an attack on us. They've taken our community away. Our pubs, our social clubs, and God. They've taken these things away from us. So we can't have a community. And that's what we need. This is a community right here, right now. Right here, right now. This is our little community. We have online communities now. The problem with online communities is we're scattered all over the place. That's the issue. Now, as I said earlier, the Muslims always have community. Community doesn't always create evil, for real. Community, when it is a good community, actually wheedles evil out. Hello, Sharon. Hello, Brummy. Welcome aboard. Yeah, I'm all right. Oh, welcome to, Birmingham, literally just down the road. For anyone who knows the area here, I live not far from Birmingham International Airport. In fact, if you look at some of my old videos, the videos where I go out on a walk, I'm walking in my local park. So, Andrew Tate, the magic Andrew Tate. He's a bit of a knob. Don't get me wrong, some of the things he says he's right, and I understand why people like Andrew Tate now exist in this world, because when you create a vacuum, somebody will step in to fill that vacuum. But remember that Andrew Tate is also a follower of Islam. So, yeah, think on. It's as simple as that. Now, I saw Paz's video earlier, and I have to concur with him that this is why I said the time is coming, is the fact that we're walking into World War III. And if that happens, we really are going to need community. Nothing is private in community. It can be. It can be. But the simple truth of the matter is, we are strong together. And the powers that be know this, which is why they don't want us together. Now, you may say, well, the Muslims have community, they're together. Yeah, but the thing is, Islam is an obedient race. They are a very compliant race. They will do exactly what they're told by their imam. If their imam says jump, they'll go how high. So they'll do as they're told. Whereas us English and Scottish and Irish and Welsh, we really do have this well-known, world-renowned ability not to quite like doing as we're told. And that's the problem. They know that we have a tendency, if you tell us to do something, most of us would go, to be fair, mate, and please take this in the best possible way, fuck off, I'm not doing that. You got no right to tell me like that. And that's what the English do. And that's what we do best. And the Welsh and the Scots and the Irish and that's what we do. And that's why they take our community, because if we stood together, we would be so much stronger. And they know this. The other thing they know is we're all waking up. And that's why conscription. That's why. Let's get Ukraine into NATO. That's why. Putin, nuclear weapons are an option. That's why. We are not in a very good place at all. When we turn around and say we're heading for very dark times, they're going to get very dark, and then they're going to get very bright very quickly and very, very hot. And then a lot of us, it'll be the last thing that we see. Because if you pay attention to not what's going on here, pay attention to the back. We're being walked into World War III. Israel are about to go into Rafah, and the West is going to betray them. They're already doing it now. Yeah, I mean, come on, let's be honest. Most squaddies didn't really like being told what to do. We still moaned, as long as it wasn't in earshot of any senior rank. In fact, the British Army wouldn't be the British Army without the ability to moan about absolutely everything. Still do the job though. But we also don't particularly like doing what we're doing, like the roof of the World Kitchen van. Well, God, that bloody photo is giving me such a pain in the head. I'm so desperately trying to figure out what the hell happened. Yes, we do need to rise up. But to rise up, we need to organise. To organise, we need community. We need to go under a banner, a single banner, be it the flag, be it whatever. But that's what we need. Israel give us the new world order. No, they're not. No, Israel are being used to facilitate the war that will give the new world order its seating. Stand by my British family. We have to stand. Yeah, sunglasses on with the beer, waiting for the instant suntan. Absolutely right. And this is the problem we have. This is the problem we have. Yeah, Israel is the banner. Look, to be fair, what's going on in Israel and Gaza has got literally screw all to do with us. It's got nothing to do with us whatsoever. Okay? But for us to support, and then now, when it comes and it's getting a little bit difficult, to basically hang them out to dry is not right. The right is so divided. This is the problem. And then this is something else. You see, the right, all of us lot. I mean, we're all far right. Anyone who has a common sense or a bit of an opinion or whatever, we're all far right. It couldn't be any format. I mean, it's like we all put there. They're going on piling onto J.K. Rowling, who did a fantastic explanation. I don't know if you've seen it on X of what a woman is, which is brilliantly written, surprisingly, because she's an author. But she is the most left wing person I've ever known. But because she says one thing that they don't agree with, she's right wing. We're all right wing. But the thing is, the left wing stand together. They scream the same obscenities because they only use a very, very, very limited vocabulary. All they know is slurs and insults. They all stand together. Here, being right on the right on the right wing, for God's sake, I'm a more centre left than anything. When those things used to exist, I can say put a video out, and I'm getting moaned at by people who also are on the right because you've got the flag upside down, or this, or that, or this, and they're nitpicking, and that's our downfall. That's the biggest downfall we have as a group of people. If I was on the left wing and said something left wing, it didn't matter what I said. They'd all stand by me and pile on anyone who said anything. But it's the other way round, and you get picked on by people you are supposed to be speaking for. And I don't get it. Why is that? What happens to the British Bulldog fight? We've had it knocked out of us. For generation after generation after generation, we've had it knocked out of us. Because when it all boils down to it, the British were feared all over the world, and they don't want that anymore. Any large group of English will so pick with each other, even over football and another shit. Well, exactly, Mike. We will lose because we're too busy picking stupid little fights with each other and picking on the nicky little things. The simple truth of the matter is, do you think the country's in trouble? Yes or no? If the answer is yes, then stand with those people who say the same. Don't go, well, you've got your flag god upside down. No, just... and that's the problem. Yeah, you got to love the left wing so intelligent, you call us pathetic peeps. Yeah, and we're not the social... But the thing is, they stand together. And we won't, for some unknown, stupid, ignorant, dumb, stupid... I don't know the reason why. Why won't we stand together as a people? See, We have football fans, yeah, which are, the pride of England. We're pretty much left of what's left of the fighting spirit. So I look like a far right. Well, everybody's far right. There's too much bitching. Exactly. Stop bitching. If you want to get out of this, if we need to get out of this, if we want to solve these problems, we have to stand together. This isn't a fight between right and left. This now is becoming a fight between good and evil. It's that simple. No, never take your flag down. Talk about Tommy if you love England. Tommy Robinson. See, now, ready for this? I support Tommy Robinson in what he says, but I'd also don't like some of the things that he does say. I genuinely don't. But then again, there are things that I say that people don't like what I say, but they like the where I'm coming from. And that's the same with Tommy Robinson. I get his position. I don't have to agree with everything he says because I don't have to. I shouldn't have to. He seems to have the red, white, and blue flowing through his blood, and that's good enough for me. But I will also say, well, to be fair, I don't always agree with everything he has to say. But I don't attack the man for it. That's the difference. And that's what you need to do with everybody who's speaking like I am speaking, like Paz, like Simon, like Rotten Politics, and all the others I could list. There's far too many. Instead of nitpicking, if you believe that what they're saying in essence is right, and is essence what you broadly agree with, you don't have to agree with everything they say. You don't have to blindly nod your head, yeah, to everything. We don't want sheep. We want critical thinkers. We need people who can think for themselves, who don't go along with the crowd because somebody told them to. They go along with the crowd because they want to stand with people who have the same belief system. You can be a Christian but not believe in everything in the Bible. That's fine. Yeah? Nobody can agree with anything and anybody else says. It's about shared values, not a clone of one another. Bang on, JB. Bang on. But you don't get that. I can do video and I will, and in the comment section, you will get people nitpicking. Can't argue with anything I said. Agree with what I said, but there's this. Well, look, you don't have. Look, I am not asking you to agree with me on everything. I'm not telling you to agree with me on everything. I'm not telling you that I am the solution to everything. I'm not going to tell you the solution to everything. I'm asking you to stand up for what you know is right and stand shoulder to shoulder with those people who are prepared to say that, to stand, to put their face on YouTube and stand on their shoulder, hold the line, even if you don't agree with everything that they say. Don't trust in people. People are pee hole. No, stop it. We need to stand together. This is what happened in the 1930s. We know what happened next. Yeah, except this time they have nuclear weapons. That's the difference this time. Now, I don't want the pendulum to swing that far back that we go to Nazi Germany levels, because that's not good either. Ideally, I'd like it to get to, late 80s, early 90s, where, as I've said on many other streams, we were at the verge, literally. How cruel, Bab? Nice of you to, yeah, you would probably. Yeah, Cruel's from Scotland, so, he has to be very, very careful what he says. Oh, Jesus Lord, I don't want to get arrested live on there. In the late 80s, early 90s, we were this close to fulfilling Martin Luther King's dream. And the authorities, the establishment realized that, and that's what they stopped. Because I remember back in the 80s, early 90s, people genuinely got along. We all seemed to be ticking along quite nicely. We all seemed to be fairly happy. Crime was okay. Everything was good. But that wasn't right for the establishment. So they started to pick at things, pick at the scabs, rub the salt in the wounds. That wasn't working. So along came Tony Blair, opened up the borders and imported the one thing that was definitely going to rub salt into the wounds. And that's what you're feeling now. I don't think nuclear is real, gobstep. Brazil, trust me, it really is. Genuinely. Okay? It's genuinely real. I mean, at the moment, of course, we have problems with nuclear submarines that can't fire the missiles out of the tubes properly, but, no, trust me, mate, they're real. It's real. Very, very real. Hi, Cam, nice to see you, mate. We are already back in 1940s Germany, mate. Swastika, well, exactly, a swastika on the march. There was a guy who was arrested on the previous march, boot full of Nazi swastikas. They took them off him and let him go on his merry way. Two-tier system, of course. New construction hams, big list will go out of business, and hopefully I'm right about that. Well, yeah, it will. But there won't be much of anything left. Yeah, 70s, 80s England was great. It was. Now, don't get me wrong, it wasn't perfect. Because nothing, and this is something else. Okay? Ready for this? The world will never be perfect. Because everybody has a right to be an asshole. It doesn't matter how hard you try, you can't make utopia. It doesn't work. Okay? Doesn't work. Okay? We're all individuals and we cannot like everything. I was 6 when Tony Blair was elected. Even then I knew it was a bad thing. It was. Because all the things they tried in the 90s. Don't know what that was. It made a horrible noise then. Everything they tried in the 90s to separate us didn't work. There it is. That's the problem. Get rid of that. That didn't work. So the only way to solve it was to import something that would definitely get people going, but then make it sound like it was a good idea. Can't believe this. I've just noticed I've got 72 people watching. Thank you so much, everyone. Genuinely. Never had this many. I've got 73 now. Never had this many people watching. I've never had such an awesome chat. You're all great. I'm loving everything that's being said. As I said, I will only censor things when it gets to stupidness or when we think we're going to be clever to troll. Yeah? But please, keep the chat going. I love it. Because we need to talk like we are. But I want us to start realising, yeah, utopia might not be dystopia. Yeah, amen to that. But what I want us to do, is if you all genuinely want to make a change, if you all genuinely want to force a change. Thank you, Sharon. I do forget to say the old like, share, and subscribe stuff. Thanks for that, Sharon. Much appreciated. But if you want all this, you want a change. Oh, welcome, Michael Hancock. Thank you. Has been a legend as always. But if you want this, if you want to affect change, real genuine change, then for God's sake, stand with people who speak how you want. You don't have to agree with them. Just stand on the goddamn line. Don't nitpick. Don't make shit up about them. Yeah? If you 100% believe in the message that person is saying, if you genuinely believe that message, you don't have to agree with everything. Please Stop sniping. Stop getting nasty. Stand on the line. Support each other. They don't want us to have a community. They don't want us to support each other. They want us fighting amongst ourselves. They want us sniping. They want us infighting. It has to stop. It is that simple. People say solutions to problems. The first solution to the problem is stand together. Stop sticking it into people who you genuinely and quite a lot agree with. If you think that Great Britain needs to become great again, stand with those people who do. You don't have to agree with everything. If you get offended by somebody bastardizing our flag, then don't criticize those people who stand up and say it, who have the courage to stand and say, that's wrong. That's what you need to do. We need to stand together. We need that community. We need to be united under one banner. Because that's what they don't want. It is what the National Socialists did. They split society. Exactly. This is replay of Germany in the 30s. We have nothing. Yes, we do. We have ourselves. We have ourselves. We have our courage. We have our self-belief. We have the ability not to do as we're told. We have the ability to do whatever we want to do as long as we stand together. As long as we are prepared to challenge everything, not necessarily do as we're told. That's what we need. Because World War III is coming now. World War III is on its way. And if it does happen, which it probably will happen, we're going to need community. We're going to need each other more than ever. Yeah, be the lion. You know what? We're all a lion. We all have courage. Some of it's buried deeper than others. Mark, the simple truth is they were imported. They were imported by the Tony Blair organisation, the war criminal that he is. A few of my friends died because they had to go to a war he shouldn't have fought. He imported it because he knew it was the only thing that could win, the only thing that could push. 1938 equals now. Yeah. Sadly. And the thing is, I'm genuinely, when I'll speak from the heart, I always speak from the heart, but I'm genuinely concerned that we may not be around for much longer. I was watching a stream when they were talking about, in 5 years' time. I'm genuinely worried that we won't be here 5 years' time. Well, if we are, we'll be living in little holes in the ground somewhere because we won't be able to do this because this won't exist. And we'll be thrown back to the Stone Age. And then we really will need each other. Over 70 people watching. Thanks very much. The chat's been awesome. You have been awesome. But that's the message. The overriding message is always going to be that from me. Yeah, World War II proxy wars around to start World War III. Well, do you reckon we'll have to lay on the tinfoil sheet adverts? So, yeah, let's do the shit that doesn't work. Yeah, almost as much as when the old training. Remember the old NBC training? Yeah, when you see the flash, don't look at it. Well, I've already noticed it. So I'm blind, but I'm not. Lie on the floor in the direction of the blast? You're heading towards the direction of about lying on your rifle because that's going to save you from the blast wave. A lot of bollocks, man. Nuclear weapon drops. We're all dead. Get over it. Agree or disagree? It's called conversation, which is what we need. Stop going at each other. and have a conversation. And if you agree with some things and don't agree with others, does it matter? I used to have a saying, and it was a saying my dad used to say, and it was like, very, very prevalent. And I don't know when it just dropped out of existence, but remember the one? I'll tell you what, mate. Let's just agree to disagree on this one. Do you want a point? Remember that? Remember that where we actually used to say, "Let's just agree to disagree, dude, and get on with it." Yeah, remember that. Remember this other one, this other old one. Yeah, remember this old one. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Remember that? When did that become irrelevant as well? Yeah, I mean, the old one was it like take an interior door down and push and really get over it. Look, simple truth of the matter is, guys, if there's a nuclear blast, it's just yeah. Birmingham Small Arms, yep. BSA, a great factory that was. I remember that factory existing. Oh God, I'm old. God, I feel old. Why is it always us old guys the same stuff? We can agree on girls. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, what is a girl? I'm only shitting with you. Yeah. Checking the numbers. Remember, we in America, of our cousins and friends of Great Britain. Yes, I know, Cam. Unfortunately, we're not armed like you are. We are literally going to have to go back to medieval time for warfare, I'm afraid, when it comes to that. We have the most beautiful girls. Oh, we do. But in my travels around the world, I can ascertain there are some very gorgeous women all over this wonderful planet of ours. Remember the Ovaltine French. Stop it, Rich. Stop it. Genuinely. I also remember the HP Sauce Factory, thank you. So stop it. Yeah, just stop it. I also remember the gas monitors in Aston. Remember, you have those big three. You probably know what they are. You're as old as you feel, or as old as you want to feel. Yeah, I used to have these things in Aston, just down the road in Birmingham. These big, huge gas monitors, and they were like these big three massive circle things, and they would fill up with gas, and they would store gas in there, and then, if we needed it, we could run the gone. We used to have gas money, yeah, gas storage. We used to have brains, and anyone who shouts garbage at me, I just point and laugh. I hate it. Of course I do. And IP Keener Trench won't do bugger all nowadays. Amen to that. Mike, if you're from Aston, you should, if you're old enough, I keep forgetting some people maybe, you should remember quite clearly the gas monitors. In fact, if I remember quite well, at one stage they were painted claret and blue. Which is a bit of an insult. And before you ask, yes, I'm a blues fan. And yeah, I know, look, I like my suffering. I live for suffering. Somebody did say, that's the reason why I shunned Christianity. I couldn't take two sets of punishments in one day. My dad used to clean GP office in Birmingham. Oh, God. See, I used to go past them on the way to work. Yeah. But there's a reflection. We used to store gas. We used to have big things all over the country. They used to store gas. We don't do that now. Because if we did have that, we'd have had cheap gas. If you know, yeah, were they claret and blue? Like, yeah, they were. They were definitely claret and blue, all right. I remember them driving past them every time. We should say bastards. I can paint them blue and white. But there was only 3 of them, so unless someone who was going to actually do something with last gas monitoring went, there you go. Sometimes you got to do what you do, lend lease. I guess, if only. Yeah, sometimes I do wonder if I could. Gas monitors used to work in gas industries. They're bouncy when you walk on them. Yeah, because they were basically big bladders, weren't they? Big bladders. They just fill them up with gas. Brilliant idea. I'll have that now. I want to save people money. A bit like in America with all that gas reserve, your wonderful president sold them off. Yep. They used to have them all over this country. They used to have little storage areas where they used to store gas. Yep. They used to have them all over the place. Little the ones in Aston were huge. They were massive things. But there were other ones dotted around all over the country. There was little areas, little ones that used to store. Yeah. But there you go. That's not allowed anymore. Yeah, thanks. Plymouth Rock. But that's the difference. Wise men learn from men's mistakes, fools our own. I've been a foolish man, got wise with age. We always have. Fort Dunlop. It's a shopping centre now and a block of offices. Another great industry gone. Unbelievable. 50 pence to your TV. Yeah. Radio rental. Was it radio rentals? Had radio rentals. And what was the other one? Radio rentals. What was it? I can't remember. There was another one, Granada Vision or something like that. And you used to hire the telly. You had a pay slot in. Just put the 50 pence in. Pay for your TV. Oh my God. Yeah, it's a trip down memory lane now. I remember the old milkman with his electric float. My dad was a milkman, and that's where my first job was, working on his milk float. Yeah, as British men are pretty good, right? Well, okay, I guess. My grandfather poured sand in the sending devices when they were dropped on the gas holders. Wow, that was a job. Much respect for that job. Much respect. Absolutely. Chat you kind of me, wait until you realise we can't leave Earth. Well, that is for another chat, another way. BRMB. Don't sorry, rediffusion. That was it. Rediffusion. We had one of them in Solihull Town Centre. Radio rentals. Oh, God, them were those. You can actually rent your TV. Oh, now you have it on hire purchase. 10p the electric meter. Oh, yeah. What was it? 10 pence in the phone. Remember phone boxes? I know there's a few left. Brown Source HP. Big factory day in town. There was. Had HP painted on the chimney, if you remember. Gone. Oh, so much has gone. God, now all you're doing is just making me feel really old. Birmingham's gone, Tizza could send all the money to the Middle East. Well, we send all our money mainly to the Ukraine now. Oh, yeah, and don't forget, we send it to India so we can build their toilets for them so they can not use that money for their own toilets and send a rocket into space, as I said. If I was in charge, no foreign aid. Not until we sorted our stuff out. That's what we need to do. Tis was. Today, Saturday, wake up and smile. I preferred that one than, was it Noel Edmonds swap shop before anyone starts? Yeah, a dial on the windowsill's changed. The best one would be your dad. You can put it on channel 3. Remember, we had 3 channels. Remember that? Video rental, Blockbuster. And what was the other one? It was Blockbuster and there was something else. Can't remember the other shop. Making me rack my brain now. It was Blockbuster, and there was another one. We used to rent out videos. Oh, I also remember we used to get the dodgy ones from around the corner in the shop. I used to go on Tiswas when I was a kid. Oh, lucky you. Lucky you. So much money spent on people who are not in this country. And even then, it's money spent on people who've come to this country, who've contributed nothing to this country, but get everything for free. Yeah. I got to run, fella. Great stream. No, thanks for popping in. I'll be bringing it to a close myself. I've just realised how long I've been on for. And I need to drink coffee, of course, because I run on coffee. Power cuts in the 70s. So we can tell you, oh, yeah. I remember the winter of discontent and power going on and off. So, any case. Global and Azid. That was the one. Right. I'm going to bring this one to a close because I need a drink and you have just been awesome. Absolutely awesome. For my first live stream since I gained all these wonderful subscribers, and that's all down to Paz. It all comes down to it. Let's be honest. If it wasn't for him, no one would know I existed. Because YouTube realised what I was talking about. Once I went off Doctor Who, I don't want him to be talking about stuff. If America's the world police, we are the International Red Cross. It feels like that, doesn't it? Really does. Immigration's just like, yeah, good show. We'll definitely come back. Thank you. Thanks for all of you being here. You've all been absolutely wonderful. It's been really nice to have such a huge chat that I literally couldn't keep up with. I'm sorry if I didn't interact with most of you. I do try, but this has just been awesome and amazing and absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much. So, to bring it to a close, be careful because World War III is on its way. We need sensible people with a brain to try and solve it. And 2, if you really want to affect change, if you really want voices to be, we need to come together. as a group, under one banner, standing together. Stop sniping at each other. We need to take a page out of the left's book. Stand together. Only together, under one banner, will we succeed in anything. I love you all. You've been absolutely awesome. Genuinely great. We need to be one big family, and we can't. Well, look, we're a family. Families argue, you know. We have those arguments, but we're still a family, even if we don't agree with sometimes what other people in the family were doing. Yeah, we need to stand together. Stop sniping at the people who are prepared to go on YouTube and put a face to the voice and say we need to change. Stop sniping. Stand shoulder to shoulder, and if we can get enough of standing shoulder to shoulder, we can really genuinely make a change. But if we don't, then we've only got ourselves to blame. With that, I'm going to bring it to a close. And what I will bring it to a close with is one simple thing. God bless the United Kingdom. Love you all. With that, I'm done. So, until the next one.
Another time, another place, another slice of life.